Well, Ray, untouchable season for Devonshire Colts. At the beginning of it, what was your message to the players?
Well, the beginning was the work was done in the summer. Looking at how last season went, we knew we had to needed some reinforcements. So there was an effort to go out and find players that was attached to the club, maybe in the youth, and just happen to go play somewhere else and invite them to come back here. I thought once we had the recruitment we wanted, the commitment from the players right from the beginning of preseason that we knew something special could happen this season. So definitely promotion was at a minimum our expectation based on the recruitment and how preseason started. That's what we were looking to do.
Let's rewind a little bit because last season would have been a disappointment.
Yeah.
Looking to stay in the Premier Division, things didn't go your way. The drive over the summer was to get some of those players with connections to the club back.
Yeah, so we went down 2 years ago.
2 years
so
ago.
Last year was the first year in first division after being relegated. So some people departed. And if I really be honest, we probably didn't have the strength and depth. And I think that's what shared in the end last season. Just when we got back in the promotion race, we kind of fell off in the end. Whereas in the off season, like I said, we said we need to go get some players. We need to go get, some players in some key positions to strengthen the ranks.
Put you on the spot because
I know earlier been waiting to ask me, so I'm gonna answer for you. So Trey Meeing has redefined retirement. So I'm gonna leave the answer just like that. And Trey, yes, it's on you now because you redefined retirement.
Yeah, I mean, we had a conversation.
Yes.
And you were really looking to hand the reins over to someone else. You felt, you had done everything you could for the club as a president, as a coach, and so now that you put it back on Trey Meeing, where does Ray Jones and Devonshire Colts go from here?
So we've been having some conversations. So we're in grooming two individuals, my assistants, Castaners and Andre Famous. And most likely I will be back next year because we need to continue that grooming process. Part of handing over something is not to put somebody under unnecessary pressure. So based off of the season that we just had, whoever took over, whether it's one of them two, whoever came in, there would be some serious spotlight on expectation. But I can say even this year, if you actually can watch the Devonshire Colts training session, I'm probably managing maybe only 30% of the session. Those two take the most of it as part of handing over the reins. So, if you actually just came and watched, you would see what we basically do. We have a coaches chat. We will watch the game before Tuesday session because we film every game. We had discussed what went right, what went wrong, and then I would just basically say, this is the theme for the week. You guys get here, blah, blah, blah. And I normally come in the end with just the tactical part. But the team is growing. We're in a good spot. So I still see we're in that transition. But, in fairness, it wouldn't be fair for anybody to, based off of what you see is going on now, to come in right after such success. So, but we're still in discussions. I'm not going to say it's 100%, but it's definitely leading that I'll be around. Yeah.
But a lot of people talk about Ray Jones challenging himself. Ray Jones was the assistant coach to Kyle Lifehorn in the national program. Different level. You guys went to the Nations Cup. And that was a big thing. When Ray Jones looks back on his coaching career up to this point, what evaluation would Ray give Ray?
Well, I'm going to give you some stats early, and then you can pick on what Ray would give Ray. So there's 3 major accomplishments subject to today. So one being in 2006-07. First Division champion, Shield champions, and FA Cup champions. No one's never done it.
Right.
No one had never done it, and no one to today has ever done that.
Yes.
So that's 2006-7.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Making the Gold Cup, being part of Carl Lightford's staff, no one had ever done it. And as of today, no one still has not done it.
Right.
Today, we were looking to complete a league season in the history of Colts. That's never happened. So again, so now you know where I mark right there. So there's 3 major accomplishments during different decade periods that speaks to coaching. And for me, everyone knows I'm a coach. And I don't really to work before that were Dacom been dealt with. You know, you see people rate themselves, but sometimes it's the players. And you just have to be in the driver's seat. It's not always been that way at Colts. You know, I had some peaks. We had some peaks where we really had a very good team, and I enjoyed that success. There's a lot of people don't even know how many trophies I've actually won, but I don't get it. But I've won a lot, probably won more than most.
Right.
So yeah, so I am happy with what I've accomplished in my coaching, and you know, if I go one more time, let's see what else we can add to the trophy bed.
Final question, and I mean, you could take it any Premier Division. The BFA schedule might say Devonshire Colts, but everybody says Ray Jones versus North Village, Ray Jones versus PAC, Ray Jones versus Somerset. Taking that pressure off of the players and making them understand that you're taking the pressure, they just have to go out and play. How do you get your team up for next year's challenge? Because it now is a new challenge.
Yeah, so as I spoke about my coaching staff, so Andre Famous actually was, it's funny you say that, but he brought it to my attention and he actually started telling the players, teams ain't playing against you. They're playing against Ray Jones. And he actually started planting the seed for them to say, hey, you have to come and represent not only the club, but represent the coach. Because the coach takes a lot of the heat off of you guys, right? So it's interesting that you said that, but that seed's already being planted, and it's been planted by someone else in the coaching staff that's observed, having been coaching, now being brought in the field. Obviously, he's out in the community, he hears whatever, and he's brought it right down into training. He brings it to sometimes the games. He say, hey, today they ain't playing you, they're playing Ray, and you need to understand, you know, what's on the line. So can you guys go on the pitch and deliver? So we've already been planting the seed with this young team here, as in the transition of them taking Colts to some glory days again. So, yeah.
All right, well, congratulations.
Yes, cool, appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Well, Minister, you was on hand today to present Devonshire Colts the First Division trophy. Another accomplishment for a club that has been around. It's rich in history in football. They went undefeated for the entire season. When I say undefeated, they won every year. This game, we have to wait to see what happens with the result from the Bermuda Football Association as it ended at halftime. With Colts leading 1-0. But from your ministry standpoint, sports, football, national sport, looking at it, give us a sense of what it was like to present these young men, and I call them young men because they are very young.
Well, Mr. Beers, and as you would know, I spent 15 years as an educator, and one of the greatest things to see is when you come and see, little 14-year-olds that you had in your classroom now as young men, and some of them actually have their own families. But like you did say, they are still relatively young men, and it was good to see them celebrate success. And even with the downpour of the rain, you saw so many family members, so many supporters, so many historic Devonshire Colts individuals and fans that were here to recognize what these young men have done. And congratulations to Ray Jones, the head coach. If you know Ray, you would know that he's told everyone in Bermuda how big of an accomplishment this is for this club and the players that he has. And it was good, it was a little red, but It was good, and it was something that I put in my calendar a couple of weeks ago that I had to be here to make sure that I was on hand to watch Devonshire Colts raise this trophy for this accomplishment.
I'm gonna throw a little dart. Yeah, what up on the Premier? Because the Devonshire Colts, the team you support, got up on the Devonshire Cougars, the team he supports.
Yeah, well, different leagues, but next year we'll have quite a few rivalries at the Devonshire Derby. I'm glad to see it back in the Premier League next year. But on a more personal note, as I'm sure you know and most people know, that my brother is the president of Devonshire Colts, and this is his first year, one of his first years as the president of Devonshire Colts. And with Devonshire Colts celebrating their 60th anniversary earlier this year, I have a son who's 7 years old. He plays for Devonshire Colts under sevens, so he was here today. My brother as the president, myself here in capacity as minister responsible for sport, as well as a Devonshire Colts supporter. So it was a good day. We'll see what happens with this result, but it doesn't change the fact that Devonshire Colts came here to do one thing today, and that was to lift the trophy for the first division. So.
Am I mistaken? But doesn't the Premier's son play for Devonshire Colts as well?
The Premier's son is a friend of my son, and they do play on the same team. You'll have to take that up with the boss himself.
I just like to rub things in sometimes.
But yes, they do play on the same team. And,
okay.
He comes and supports. But
He'll be quietly supporting Devonshire Colts today.
I will not go any further than, yes, his son and my son are friends, and they do play on the same team.
All right, well, thank you very much for being here to celebrate with one of our national sports.
And I want to say this to you, Mr. Beers, and thank you for you to being here. The heavy rain has gone, but it is still wet out here. And I did say earlier, I said, you were here in a waterproof camera, and you said absolutely. And that's important. That's important that you come to these events every weekend, even during the week when there are sporting events, to cover this sport. I mean, in this case, it's a national sport, but all sports in Bermuda, the work that you are doing, and we look forward to working closer with you with the Department of Sport and Recreation.
Thank you.